So it's been an interesting season in our lives, Mike and me. We moved in May last year from Los Angeles to a little town called Spring, about half an hour north of Houston. Our oldest daughter, Dusty Rose, and her husband, Sergey, live about 6 or 7 miles up from us. And I was all prepared to, get our house, get the furniture, and go to Poland, and do some, bring some roses with me. And I was kind of thinking that was what God had planned, that we would just pick up where we left off, kind of thing. And then in the middle of it, God just said a word to me that I didn't take very well. And sometimes that happens, right? God says something that, is completely off the trajectory that we feel we're supposed to be going in, and he goes, by the way, and the word was sabbatical, and I didn't like it. I really wasn't into it. I was like, good, we're here, and now we have furniture, and that's exciting because we gave away everything or we sold it. We didn't take any with us because Dusty said it's pretty old and dilapidated, and don't bring it, buy some. So we did. We took Dusty's advice because she's sometimes wise for her years, but at any rate, sometimes. I said that for you, Bonnie. So the Lord said sabbatical to me, and I was like, I wrestled with it for a good half of the sabbatical. But in that time, I stopped driving like a maniac, which was interesting, and I spent more time with Michael, and we grew a little closer together. We healed some wounds together, and I saw the world a little more clearly, and the Lord showed me how much ego I still have and invited me to wholeheartedly serve him, which is a process. And when it came time for my sabbatical to end, I found the very first thing that I did, really, was to go to Belfast, Northern Ireland. Now, it wasn't on my agenda, but late in the year, last year, I was talking to a very dear friend. Her name is Donna Taggart, and I didn't even know that she's actually Jewish by birth. And she actually had pioneered 2 Messianic congregations, one in the north of Ireland and one in the south, which, are essentially separate countries. Northern Ireland belongs to UK, and the south of Ireland belongs to the Republic. It's called the Republic of Ireland. And Donna planted one north and south. And Donna had many issues. I hadn't seen her for 10 years because the last time I was there, it was 2013, and we did this special project, which I think some of you, or many of you maybe know, called A Tour of Roses, which is a project of healing and reconciliation that the Lord laid on my heart some years ago now, and directed me in the beginning to Germany and Poland, and to the towns where the concentration camps were. Because the Lord was teaching me about forgiveness and loving our enemies and the healing he truly wants to do, that I need to look with his eyes and with his heart. And it's a never-ending process to look with his eyes and his heart and listen with his ears my flesh is continually in rebellion all the time, you know. It can't die soon enough, you know. So anyway, my friend Donna, she, the last time I saw her, she was on the verge of not being able to walk because of MS. And so for the 10 years that I hadn't seen her, she had not been able to walk. And she had been in bed, and there was also a cancer involved. So I cried out to God, and I said, I don't want to. So Donna asked me, she said, would you come and, you know, minister here in Northern Ireland? You know, we had done several things together. We had met in, I don't know, I think it was 2004. And so we'd done different things on and off in Northern Ireland, especially Belfast. And she said, would you come again? You know, would you come again, and would you minister? And, you know, and besides, I owed her a mocha, you know. So anyway, she said, I'll pay your way. And I'm like, oh, normally I just totally say yes. But I felt like I don't want to be there if my friend is not going to make it, God. I don't think I can handle it. Because the Lord has asked me to minister in those kind of situations at different times, to be a comfort and a preparer of the way. I hadn't always known in the moment that that was what was going on, but that's what He invited me to do. And I prayed to the Lord, and I said, you know, I really want to see her healed. She believes you're going to heal her, and I want to see her healed, Lord. I've never seen somebody be healed this way, and I would like to see her healed, Father. And, you know, so I struggled because Donna almost died like a month before I came as we were planning this. And we planned it for the end of June, and that I would get out right before their independence celebration, which is somewhat violent. Because there's a lot of anger between the Catholics and the Protestants, for those who may not know. And there's a peace wall there that's filled with violent images, angry images, indicting images. One side Catholic, one side Protestant. So it still goes on. They're teaching their children their ways. They're passing along the anger and the hatred and the violence. It's kind of, it's a reflection of many things. So Donna had a vision, and she really felt like this was a calling from the Lord, and she felt like me and her daughter, who I love also, her name is Jody, who has been a very big part of her ministry, especially in the last 10 years, were to go to the bomb sites where the IRA and the Protestant militants also had killed people, civilians, and we were to go there and worship and pray. And the Lord put on my heart to recite Isaiah 61, that God wanted to bring a year of Jubilee to Northern Ireland, a healing. So, but I kept struggling because over the years I'd wanted to go back. I wanted to minister in Belfast, but I had felt like each time we came close to the idea of me coming back, the Lord had shut it down and said, no, this is not the time. And so I was struggling with what was going on with my friend who I really love, and the timing of it all. And then there came a moment when the Lord said, this is the appointed time. And when He said that to me, I knew I was going to get on the plane, whether or not she was alive when I got there. But I needed to get on the plane. And I won't go into all the details, but it was truly a God-anointed trip. It was nothing showy. We went to bomb sites, we worshiped, we prayed, We did what the Lord told us. We went to Stormont, which was the parliamentary buildings there. We did what he told us. We had grace and favor like was amazing. We should never have been on the grounds of Stormont, and we were there. We should never have been right in front of the city hall in Belfast, and we were there, worshiping and praying. And God gave us every place we put our foot. And he gave me strength and grace to worship at her bedside day in and day out, you know. Well, my friend did pass. And it was hard. But she did pass. And I was almost angry at God. And then God said, I sent you to her. I blessed her with you. She's my servant. And I privileged you to go and minister to her in that hour. And whether you realize it or not, to prepare her heart for my coming to her and taking her. And I think sometimes we don't understand, you know, we get caught up in everything that's going on, whether it's for me, all the up and down of Donna's struggle with the stuff that was going on in her body. You know, we get caught up in whatever is going on, or what, you know, the macrocosm right now of what's going on in Israel. And we forget that he called us to be a people of his praise. We forget the calling that we have in God. We forget that the joy of the Lord is our strength. We forget who we are. We suddenly just surrender it to all the circumstances and to what our eyes see and our ears hear, and we're afraid and we're paralyzed by what is going on, as I was, as I thought about going to Belfast. You know, our oldest daughter, Dusty, she said, you know, she said an interesting thing in her little blog post. She's a bit of a writer. And she's writing a novel right now, and it is a Christian fantasy novel, okay? And it's beautiful. I mean, it is stunningly beautiful. But she was writing about how when she heard all the things that happened in Israel, she wanted to get up and do something, you know, sign up for the IDF, or, you know, whenever she, you know, that kind of thing, you know, do something, you know. And then she went, oddly enough, this is the concert I missed. She went to see Owl City with our youngest daughter, you know. And Owl City is, you know, he's a believer and all, and his music is in and out of that, you know. But anyway, God really met her there. And he showed her that the thing that she was to do was what she does, what he called her to do, to write. I loved what Carolyn Hyde posted on Facebook a while ago. I wouldn't normally bring this up, but she talked about how she woke up in the morning after this attack started. She woke up in the morning and she felt like the Lord spoke to her, and there was a conference about the glory of God. And she was supposed to attend this conference of the glory of God, and they didn't shut it down. The people didn't shut it down. They decided to do the conference, even in the midst of all of this. And she didn't know what she should do. And the Lord said to her, well, what were you going to do today? Well, I was going to do this. Well, do that. Because that's what needs to happen. You need to worship me and to exalt me. You know, I'm paraphrasing more than what she said, but basically to lift up the Lord. If not now, when? You know? And like I said, we forget ourselves. So, you know, when Liza worships in her weakness, she does so for the glory of God. And each of us has gifts that God has given us, and we don't stop doing them because suddenly the world became a hostile place. No, we're the light in the darkness, and the gifts were given for this moment. They were given for this moment. years ago, left the 99. I was sure I knew which way to go. Lord, I was so blind. You are the good shepherd. You make me whole. Lay me down in fields green and fair, till I know I'm home. I will dwell in your house forever. I will dwell, oh, let me dwell in your house forever. Surely goodness and mercy follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in your house forever. I will dwell. In the valley deep and full of fear, enemies pursue. You prepare a table for me here. Your promises are true. Anoint me with oil, make all things new. Walk me by those quiet waters, my cup overflows. I will dwell in your house forever. I will dwell, let me dwell in your house forever. Surely goodness and mercy follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in